Take my hand and let our fears go. Take me to your jungle, where the rain is warm and the birds fly. Take me to your kingdom. Yeah, take me to the, yeah, take me to the. Take me to your jungle, where the rain is warm and the birds fly. Take me to your kingdom. Yeah, take me to the jungle, jungle.
I don't mind being right, even when we got it wrong. I kinda like making it up as we go. And ever since the second grade, when you first caught my eye, I knew you were different in all the ways I like. I won't hide that I'm right, even when we got it wrong. But why you keep playing without the same man? This sort of little light, the common ground is shaking in your eyes. If you could believe me, let's jump in the deep end. We'll jump in the deep end, yeah. I said, hey, we don't need to leave all of the differences aside. But you and I, we were right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of our differences aside. 'Cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. Opposite sides, and that's what makes it right. Or every time that you think it's gone too far, we come a long way, and I know that it's only just begun. 'Cause if you think that loving someone else could ease your mind, let me just remind you, dear, of all the hills we've climbed, and I don't mind being right, even when we get it wrong. No. And I said, hey, we don't need to leave all the differences aside. But you and I, we were right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of our differences aside. 'Cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing Sometimes we're just ourselves and not with someone else. Me, myself, and I. At least give it a try. Sometimes we're just ourselves and not with someone else. If I could save us, hell, you know I would. We're just a
Welcome everybody, we are here in Le Mans Ultimate. We finally made it here in the new game that now has multiplayer with a couple of things that are missing. Now that I look around it, I just need to take this and this. No, definitely not this one. This one here. Way better. Now even... Oh wait, I forgot a bit of an important thing. Just apologies, but obviously it's pretty much everything new. There isn't a layout yet, that's why. So we'll go without. Anyway, everything now works, should work perfectly. It's a big should, mainly because I will be honest, this is kind of the first time that it provides me with some action, and let's okay, now everything works. So as you can see, the layout is pretty much the same as the one in the official WEC broadcasts. I also have a couple of information more, but unfortunately they are not working after an update just came out in these days. So unfortunately I cannot put the label, even because you can see it crops out for some reasons. I'm not really sure the reason for that. But anyway, for the whole rest, this could go on. Obviously, for who isn't, let's give this one away. Oh wait, how can I take away the hypercars? Is there a way? I failed. Nope. Which one? No. I'm trying to understand how this works, I'll be honest. Maybe like this. Not really. Anyway, now we are into qualifying. And we are with the GT3 LM. Or LM GT3 to be exact. Which are on the same definition of the usual GT3s. Used in IMSA, used in WEC, and used in the GT World Challenge, except for a couple of things like the torque sensors, which are used to bop the cars, and a couple of aero differences. But apart from these, these are pretty much the same GT3 cars that you can find in the other FIA GT3 series. For now we are with Dominic Hillingner, currently in his Corvette number 82. And again, I'm really sorry that I can't really show you the driver information, because that could really be useful. Maybe this one couldn't work. Okay, this one works. So we can see the qualifying sector 1. Obviously it's a purple sector 1 for obvious reasons, considering it's the first car that we can see on track at the moment. and the BMW behind just follows the car currently about to set the first timed lap. Currently into the final part of the circuit, into, well, not now, but we are going into Blanchimont just after Stavolo. Campus Stavolo, the two corners that we just passed, as this track is 4.2 kilometers long, founded in 1921. Here we are into Blanchimont, full speed, full gas into the bus stop chicane, which once was a bus stop chicane, now it's just a chicane, to be fair. Into the first right-hander spark flying off the diffuser. Ooh, a bit too pretentious on the rear, and the first time lap is going to be a not valid one. Since I think yeah, it was an off track apparently, so Verman is going to set the first time lap in 2:20.119. But that's the target time. That's why. And I need to give myself please 19.1 currently for Prius at the moment at the very top of the standings in a BMW number 46. So the car passes into the start finish line. I think it's Moody, but apparently with a bit of a slow lap to start the season, which is going to have 5 rounds in 5 wonderful and majestic locations. We have Spa, we have Sebring, we have Interlagos, we have all of them. This is the most beautiful ones. Currently Prius for another lap in this sector. A tenth and a half has been cut from himself, who is the one to beat. It's going to be quite difficult for the numbers, I'll be honest, considering there are multiple 46 cars. At the moment there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 46, so I will not really be... Oh, that's a lot of gravel for any Plus after Stavolo, and that's certainly an off-track violation, quite honestly. Now Bartek Radovic, for now improving, but just barely 14 milliseconds on himself on the Inception Racing McLaren number 70. Inception Racing, which switched to Ferrari for the IMSA season because apparently the McLaren is simply too expensive. Which makes sense. It's completely made out of carbon fiber compared to, for example, the Ferrari, which is made from aluminum too. Aluminum. For now, Bigo now in pole position, a second in front of Lewis. Currently stationary in the middle of the exit track. Now 6 tenths below himself. He has to beat 18.1 as McLaren comes over the bus stop. The number 70. So there is a yellow flag on track at the moment. It's probably carried now in the pits. And this is going to be an improvement, but just barely an improvement. Only 1 tenth, so 5 tenths have been lost in the third sector for Bartek Radovic. Linear currently 2 tenths below himself. He is 1.9 seconds off the pole position, but just 50 milliseconds off Van Horn in 4th place. Sliding around in the Corvette, which is quite frankly the best car around. 9 tenths below on the sector line. That could put Illigner quite close to Radovic and Plus, which are just gapped by a single millisecond in their order. But here comes the number 82 in 4th place, having lost 6 tenths in the last sector and scoring a 19.7, so off for another lap. But again, 1 millisecond only between Radovic and Plus. Plus just starting the lap. And currently 6 tenths off pole position, so an improvement by 3 tenths for Yannick Plus, for the German driver currently driving the German car. Fernando remains in pits, and that's because qualifying is over for the GT3 class, since it's 20 minutes, 10 minutes each, and now it's the hypercars that are going off. And for who doesn't know, the hypercars are the same cars that race in IMSA. I'm mentioning IMSA quite a bit, considering the Daytona 24 hours, or rather the Rolex 24 hours, just starting tomorrow. And yes, these are the same cars that are racing there, except a couple of differences, mainly aerodynamics ones, mainly ballast being distributed in a different manner, and whatnot. But altogether, they are two not completely different cars. The LMDH and LMH are built differently, starting from a chassis, and for the LMDH and LMH have to start from either a bespoke one or a pre-existing one. But in the current standing there are Ferraris, BMW, Toyota, so putting some differences. Oh, that's a bit of gravel for Plus, who was quicker in the first sector compared to Vigo, but he is now 6 tenths below himself, so that's not going to be an easy, well, 6 tenths, I think, below Vigo, to be fair. That's, I think, enough track. And that's pit stop for Plus. So Illigner the same goes into the pits. Buff is quite far off, with Curtin just in 7th. And Angela Scotti going into the pits in 8th place, so no improvement for Ferrari driver. Number 93 will start the lap shortly, but I think someone is quite ahead. I think it's the Toyota here, unless it's 7th. No, it's the Toyota. Currently in the number 8. Time to beat it is a 218.1, being cleared by a BMW driver. So we'll see the first timed lap for the sector. It's obviously 5 seconds below Bigo, but that's not really unuseful information at the moment. And see if this doesn't work. Fantastic. Into Campos and Stavro, right-hander over the curb and then left-hander. Oh, there's a bit of a twitch in the rear, nearly putting the car into the wall, but the black and red Japanese car continues straight. Target time is at 218.1, which obviously will be beaten easily by the hypercars. And the LMH, which won a couple of times dizzy. Oh, that's a long off track for Soder And over the curb with the Peugeot behind. I think it's the number 93 just coming over the line with a 202.1 for Frank Sidivi. First car which is now in pole position as Domokowski goes quicker with a 201.286 just behind the BMW number 20 of Jack Evans. As other Modern actually goes quicker in the LMDH, in the number 5 Porsche Penske, just behind one of the Ferrari. That's the number 83 of apologies, Mario Mariano. We leave 5 seconds of time. For now, Modern remains in pole, but will not improve on this lap. Hi to everyone, both on Twitch and on YouTube. So yeah, there are hypercars, and just now they are onto their lap. So Modern will not improve. And quite frankly, I don't know who will. I think Krebs is barely. He is barely improving, 4 milliseconds only on himself. Just going into Pujon. Oops, not this one. Krebs is going to 8 tenths behind the next car as he goes into stubble. And if this will be an improvement, this will be a very little improvement for Krebs. Unless it's 80 milliseconds. Oh wait, apologies, it's 80 milliseconds away from Modern. Not 80 milliseconds in front of himself. So this could be a huge improvement for Daniel Krebs. Again, apologies for the mistakes, but I'm just getting used to everything. It's a bit new for me. As Daniel Krebs goes across the line, and it's going to be 2:00.367. Second place, just behind Modern, 14 milliseconds behind the other Porsche Penske, and it's going to be 5.67 in front of everyone, with the first three being out by just 3 tenths of a second. So Modern just has to improve because Krebs is just behind, and quite frankly, I think he could have a chance. 1 tenth below himself. That's Adam Modern in number 5. He's going over Bruxelles in this hairpin, and then into Jack Hicks, or rather no name for the most usual endurance fans or motorsport fans in general. As he approaches Pujon, here he goes. Just a little bit of a lift off and then full speed, full send into Campos. And the 10th may become just better. It's a bit of not having the full window. I just have to do just like in real life. I have to just see the sector lines, and currently it's another 10th, so he didn't lose anything, but he also didn't gain anything apart from maybe what, 13 milliseconds. So effectively nothing, and he has only 40 milliseconds of gap. Meanwhile, Aleman just improved. He's now 172. That's milliseconds. He's off pole position, but now this Porsche here has to make the lap, and I think he will do so. It is indeed an improvement. He just lost barely on the first sector, and it's going to be at 0.150 for Modern, with Krebs just behind. That didn't improve Aleman. Also on a very nice lap. He is now 3.7 tenths away, or rather 0.3 seconds away from Modern. And in the last sector he was 3 tenths off pole, but improving his own lap. Let's grab, oh, that's a lot of wall for Kiss. And it's over for him. Now Timo Brown is 1.1 second away from pole, but he's just 17 milliseconds away from Kiss. Will improve in the first sector, just now in the Camel Straight. And he stops. He decides that it's not going to be an improvement. For now, Frank Sidvi, 2 times only from pole position in the old Peugeot 9X8, the one without the wing. The more questionable one, let's say. And that's 1 second off pole. And also off himself. Because that's not all. That's not going to be an improvement for his own time. So this puts my eyes on Chris Tedder. 4 times off pole. After the comb. Just staying on the curb. So Sedevi didn't improve in the end. Thanks, Tom. On to No Name. Also looking at the new motorbike path there. That's made for the endurance spa for motorbikes. Only 2 cars currently going over the Belgian tarmac. Cody Besselink just a single millisecond off Hill, but he will stay in 14th place. And Chris Tedder, which currently is only 71 milliseconds off pole position. So this could be interesting. He gained a lot of time in the second sector. This could be it for the number 38. Just on the braking line. Onto the bus stop. It's all or nothing with the brakes glowing red. And this could be a very nice improvement for Chris Tedder. It's going to be an improvement. It's going to be a 2:0.623. He unfortunately kept the 4 tenths he had from first sector, but he managed to make a very good second and third sector, putting his car in 4th place. For now, Modern is going to start. And now, how does it work? I'll be honest, how does it work now? Because I have no idea. Because now the qualifying is over. What happens if I do this? Okay. I'm trying buttons at the moment. I'm kinda having fun with it. Okay, now I just want to see something if it works. No, it definitely doesn't. So I have to find a better way to change cameras, because I simply cannot. I just have one monitor. I can't really do much than what I'm already doing. So now 1 minute and 23 seconds prior to the race. And the cars are now on the racetrack. So I have to so this is your starting order. Gilles Alleman and Chris Tedder are starting in second row, with Wodan and Krebs in first and second, then Domokos Kiss and Timo Brown in the Peugeot and the BMW LMDH. Following, it's Frank Sedivi and JP Soder in the Peugeot 9X8 and the Toyota, with Chris Jones following in 9th place and Johnny Murasaki in 10th in the Toyota. Then Peter Van Lucius in 11th, with William Glover in 12th place. After it's Craig Hill in 13th and Cody Besselink in 14th. with Mario Mariano in 8th row and Simon Turner in 16th place. Then it's Jack Evans and Timo Bujo starting in pole position in LMGT3. Yannick Lewis starts in 2nd and Bartek Bradovic is in 20th. Michael Illigner is in 21st, Jan Barf is in 22nd place. Then Calva Horn starts in 23rd with Tom Curtin in 24th. Row 13 is Angela Scotti and Alan Brown, with 27th and 28th being Nico Wellman and S. Moody. Then it is Mark Stewart in Inception McLaren and Bruno Almeida in the LMH Ferrari, with Tom Brunel starting in 31st place. Now, we are here into the very start of the first race of the season in Le Mans Ultimate. It's going to be
Green flag, green flag.
green flag and the 80-minute penalty for improper starting position for Keys. He will be, I think, given a direct. Oh, there is a little contact between the second, third and fourth car. Oh, there is a car in the gravel. I think it's a BMW. Yes, it is a BMW. Sparkles going off left and right, but currently Modern is in first place with Gilles Salleman just following in second place. Chris Tedder is just glued in third. And that's a side-by-side, probably, between the Toyota and the Porsche. The 963 Toyota going on outside on the calm. That's quite frankly a bit difficult. Oh, there is little contact between the two, but the Toyota remains in second place. And Chris Tedder is in third. Meanwhile, Krebs, then Selevi, then Keys, then Valusuit, then Besselink, then Glover, Evans. Oh, that's a Ferrari off. Ooh, that's Mario Mariano off track and making contact with the Porsche. That Porsche was Chris Jones. That was Chris Jones making contact with the Ferrari, unfortunately. We'll go back in first place with Adam Modern still maintaining the lead over Gilles Salleman. This now works. No, it really doesn't. Fantastic. It's not over yet between the Porsche and the Toyota. You can see Aleman not really defending the inside line, just keeping the line on its own into the bus of now. Modern thanks and says bye to the duo following, but just barely, because I can see that the Toyota is very good at it, especially on the exit phase of the bus stop. And now also Krebs is back in close proximity to the three drivers ahead, with Keys extremely far away. The Peugeot 9X8 version 2. Van Lieshout just follows, and Besselink with Glover and Evans in the car number 20. BMW just battling with Timo Brown in the other 20. The duo which is just one after the other. There is going to be an overtake for Timo Brown. Ooh, nothing really happened. Oh, I saw a lockup. There was a car locking up. I think it was Van Lieshout. Oh, you can see there. Wait, I can do this. Okay, I'm fine. Oh, that's a huge lockup for Van Lieshout. Enormous lockup for Van Lieshout. And Besselink also follows just behind. Meanwhile, back in front. Can I do this? Oh, okay. I'm slightly understanding how this works. Clean air for Modon. It's not the same for Krista, just following the Toyota had a bit of lift off and into the bus stop. These three are definitely going quick, but there is another car behind. It's Daniel Krebs. Now 1.4 seconds. It was way closer earlier on. And that's a Porsche X in the pits. That's Chris Jones after repairing the car. But then Krebs lost an eternity for some reasons. And there is a McLaren there going extremely slow. So that's Alan Brown in a McLaren. Meanwhile, in LMGT3, Yannick Plus remains ahead in front. Oh, there is an overtake there. That's for third place between the BMW and the Corvette. That's Illigner losing the position on Bigo. And it's still side by side between the two with the Corvette on the inside on the bus stop. On La Source, apologies. And it's the car number 82 that remains now in third place, just ahead of the Beamer. Now on the left side of the track. Yeah, that's the BMW making the place, number 3 on the Camel Straight. Putting now the BMW again behind Radovic. A lot of gravel there even for the Corvette, and there is also the battle behind between Van Horn and Curtin. With these two battling for 5th place. So we go back in first place, but this time in LMGT3. As someone is already in the pits. Domonkowski goes into the pits with a very early pit. 73 minutes. Oh yeah, it's a drive-through for improper starting position that we saw at the very beginning. So this is the drive-through that he has to go through. And back in P1. Is a miss? No. You have to go for. For now, oh, that's a lot of wheel spin for Yannick Plus. But for now, they remain on the same situation. Although, I think Radovic is finding some trouble. Oh, the BMW goes for a lunge on the inside. Nearly a dive bomb, but this is now a 4-way battle for the lead of the race in LMGT3. The situation in hypercar class. For now, oh, there is a car off there. It's a BMW just in the middle of the racetrack. I think it's the number 31 of Tom Brunel in 30th place. Now the BMW goes for the inside, and that's second place for the number 46 in front of the 70. Now putting Timo Bigot just behind the leader in GT3 class. Having the, quite honestly, most boring sound of them all. And it's like this in real life, it's not really that great. But currently 18th place overall and second in class. There's a lot of gravel for Getting loose. Very close between the two. This could be an overtake for Team Obigo into the inside. Oh, it's a lunge. Very, very aggressive. Oh, it's a spin for Plus. And that's a spin. He loses 3, 4, 5 places. And again, another car that nearly spins out. That's Van Horn nearly losing the car altogether and losing the place on Tom Curtin by doing so. Now in 4th place in class, but that's bigger now. Oh, that's a side-by-side between Radovic and... Oh, apologies, this is still on. Between Radovic and Illigner. That was 2nd place. It's going to be side-by-side onto Rouge. McLaren stays afloat in 2nd place. .1 seconds away from Team Obigo. Now back on the very front, as Keys is now a DNF. You can see the last lap it was 3 times quicker for Tedder. Now it's the time for the overtake. This could be the time between Aleman. Oh, there is a contact between the two. And now Tedder is in front of Aleman. Just going on outside of the curb. At the number 7 again, another contact. Fernando remains on inside. This could be great for Tedder. And it is indeed flashing the light already. Excuse me for giving back the place, but that's not going to happen easily on the Michelin tires. The first cars that are now just joining the conversation, that's the LMGT3. I think in a 20th place. So as you can see, that's also the tire they are using, more than with hard tires, no, medium, because white is soft. Okay, I made it. Oh wait, give me back my... I don't want the autocycle, I just want the tire. Give me this tire, thank you. So you can see Modern on the mediums, Tedder on the soft tires. Everyone but Soder, Evans, CDV and Hill are on, which are on soft compound. So effectively the number 38 is going quicker, but because it is on different tires, that's also quite helping the situation. So effectively Aleman is on the same strategy as Krebs and Modern. It's going to be quite a situation to look at. So they're currently quicker, but just because of the tire difference. So as we can see from the roof cam by Daniel Krebs, who is having a good view at what is happening just in front between Aleman and Tedder, although on two different compounds. They're definitely having a good fight on the Buhon. Now the pressure remains. Oh, that's a lot of defending for Tedder. It's quite likely that the tires are starting to give up on the Porsche 963. This is just helping Krebs to maintain the slipstream and the fight on. As you can see, the first GT3s, well, the first, already I think the 6th time we saw a GT3 getting past. Onto full speed in Blashimonde. It's turning 6. Barity 6 is currently on the left hand side of the railroad track. I think there was a slight contact between the two cars. Oh, this was very close between the number 7 and the BMW. They just passed. Oh, it's a free wide with a Porsche on the grass. And quite frankly, I think this is going to be in favor of... oh, there's a contact between the 6 and the 7. Huge contact, the sparks flying off. And that's another place being lost by Gilles Aleman again. On the outside he goes, on the comb and then on the gravel. Slightly contact again and more contact between the two side by side. And still there is still some chance, but unfortunately Inception Racing is just there in the middle. Can't really do much about it. And Toyota has to stay behind. Daniel Krebs now in 3rd place in class, although quite likely to become 2nd, as you can see here. Extremely close to the 963 ahead, which is on effectively quicker tires, but less optimal ones. Oh, sliding a lot, that's for sure. That is sliding way more than Krebs is. Oh, again on the gravel a tiny bit. For the energy is not working. It's still showing full. There is consumption, so I can't really see what's the situation, which is sad. But as you can see here, Krebs is barely behind Quistada. With the camel stray, Aleman is now 1 second off, so there will not be any issue regarding slipstream. Quite different lines into Le Combe. Because there's a lot of gravel. Though, as we go into the trackside camera, you can see now the Toyota is very, very close to the duo, which is now back to be a trio. With this fight, which probably will go on for quite some time. Number 6 remains behind, 38. think this time this could be the time where the pass happens. You can see on the left it goes, and the number 6 is next to the 38, which is now in front on the comb, already making the pass on the breaking point, and as the turn appears, the pass was already made, and that's Daniel Krebs now in second place in the Penske Motorsport race car, with the Toyota just behind. So I think now it's the time where the tires are starting to, I won't say give up, but certainly not giving the same performance as earlier on. Gilles Aleman following steadily. At this point, oh, there's a lot of gravel for the Toyota driver, but way in the line, just into Blanchimont. This could be the time where the pass happens here. So this could be 2 positions lost in a single lap, although a very long one. Into the bus stop, the Toyota decides to go for the inside. A bit of an... Oh, that's a lot of wheel spin, and that's Chris Tedderoff locking the rear and putting the car sideways into the bus stop, with Aleman, who had to take a bit of a scenic route into the bus stop to avoid the incident, and now Aleman is in 3rd place in class, and overall with Tedder now on the softer compound. Also has to give up way more performance, considering these tires aren't made to last. As we go in LMGT3, you can see here Iligner and Bigo are battling for position number 1 in class. With Evans and Hill, which are also battling for position in 10th place. That's a lot of jumping action for number 20. Oh, that's Hill completely missing the braking point and cutting the corner. Oh, that's a lot of road being taken by the BMW. The LMDH going off for a brief moment. Oh, that's again a BMW off, and it's gravel for Evans, who now lost the position on Craig Hill, now in 10th place. Let's go back here in first place, with a battle for first in LMGT3. Team Vigo currently leading his own class. His best lap was a 19.652, 8 times quicker than Dominic Illigner's one. So this makes me think that this could probably be a bit of tire saving for the current leader, having Illigner just a second off behind him. An item that is rapidly approaching. Now he's getting passed by a Ferrari 499P. Which was likely. Bruno Almeida in 13th place. This is here the battle for position number 7 in LMGT3, with Ian Barth, Nico Bellman and Angela Scotti battling for that very position. As Scotty is trying to go on the inside of the Corvette, going extremely wide. And losing the place. It's a matter of that. Scotty is in 8th place, 7 tenths away from Barth in 7th, who consequently is 8 seconds away from Plus, which after the spin he had doesn't seem to have recovered much of it. The battle remains high between, well, among these drivers, with Ian Barth keeping the lead. Oh, nearly putting also a contact with the Porsche that was just passing. This is currently the closest fight we have overall. This is also Sodre steadily gaining some time on Van Lieshout in 6th place in Hypercar class. That will be interesting, to say the least. As the cars in 2nd and 4th, that's Scotty going extremely wide on the bus stop. Effectively leaving a bit of difficulties to the Toyota, who is now in the sandwich between the two Ferraris. Now passes through. Aleman being 2 seconds off Krebs. This is not really helping its situation. As the Ferrari number 83 of Mario Mariano is now off and back on track. Oh, the Ferrari off, completely spinning and nearly making contact with Cristeda, completely losing the rear of the car, and luckily not making contact with anybody. but that's certainly a great damage to Scotty's tires and also positions, since she is now 8 seconds behind Nico Wellman. As we go back on front, currently Aleman. Oh, there is a huge incident there between two BMW. Which one were them? Holy moly, that was a huge shunt. And I don't know if Krebs was involved in it. It's actually possible. I can't know for certain. I think it was Moody. And I have no idea. It was Van Horn. Yeah, it was Van Horn getting involved in 6th place. No, in 5th, apologies. Oh, wait, it was Plus. Yeah, it was Plus being involved in the incident. With massive damage to his car now. I have no idea who he made contact with in that section. I think it was Moody. Although I'm not really sure who that was. Hopefully the cars are pretty much all the same. I'm finding some difficulties in tracking who is who. And that's a lot of damage for the Beamer. Now back in second place for the battle for second. The last lap being nearly 9 times quicker for Aleman. And then losing some of it again. So there is a second of gap between the two. Allowed to remain quite gapped. So we go in LMGT3 because there is a possible battle between Illigner and Bigot. Following Bigot, although they basically now have the same exact best lap, so this Corvette is certainly having a good time at the moment. Eight times only between Bigot and Illigner, as these two are quite close, but not as close. The cars in 5th and 6th, which are barely 2 times separated from each other. With 45 minutes to go, remember that the race is 80 minutes long. Wellman remaining behind the Ferrari 296. Obviously, it's important also to keep your tires alive, since there will be a pit stop. Question obviously comes when you have to either switch your tires or keep them on to avoid some pit stop time. But at distance, these two are very close. Ooh, a lot of gravel there, coming from, I think, it was definitely the Porsche head. Do you think it was Christadler? No, it wasn't Christadler, it was Mariano. But anyway, for now the Ferrari is just barely ahead of Vellman. And it's now side by side, the Corvette on inside of Rouge. Rouge, apologies, La Source. And still side by side between the two. And this could be, oh, there is a free wide situation. And it's side by side over Le Rouge. And if I remains ahead, meanwhile also, Van Lieshout managed to gain a position on Soder. I think that was a mistake of some kind because there were a lot of seconds between the two. And now Soder is behind Van Lieshout, so clearly something happened there. So speaking of LMDH and LMH, the number 7 is still a second and a half behind Daniel Krebs. With Tether, which is now 11 seconds behind Aleman, so tire strategy after the half spin clearly didn't work. Compared to F1, there isn't really a rule to choose your tires, so they can just fit whatever they want. So they're into the pits. So the first of the effective pits in the race. As these two are still battling for the position, number 5. Another car goes into the pits. I think that's a BMW, but I'm not really sure which one it is. It was Jack Evans in 12th place. Oh, that's a Corvette extremely off track, nearly losing completely the car and nearly putting it into the wall. Soder is now back on the racetrack. Oh, there's a lot of space given, and now the 81 lost completely chance to battle with Barf. For 5th place. So you got now with Frank Sedivi battling with Johnny Murasaki, currently in the Toyota TS010. And Sedivi on the 9X8 Spec 1. Oh, there's a lot of track being used from Toyota driver. As 40 minutes remain in the race. We are halfway through. As also Glover goes into the pits. Just as the halfway mark appears. Lots of sliding for number 93. Just following the card into the bus stop, but there is also... Oh, there's a lot of rear wheel spin and locking up for Frank Sedivi. Really putting the car, I won't say in the wall, but certainly in a bit of a difficult position. As Chris Tedder is now exiting the pit lane after having changed his tires, I suppose. Okay, let's see if it is the case. There is now with a soft compound. So I'm not really sure if he changed the tires or not. That's Craig Hill. Oh, nearly going side by side with Chris Tedder. And that was effectively a battle for position, which is still not over as Craig Hill goes to the right of the Porsche and makes the pass for a brief moment and then brakes extremely early. Effectively putting back Tedder on his normal route. Scotty Besselink is stopped in the middle of the racetrack as Aleman is now into the pits, as you can see here from the number 7, being stationary in its pit box. Putting Adam Modan on a complete lead by 12 seconds on Krebs. And now Timo Brown momentarily in third place. As he stands, so currently Scotty very close to Barf. Now 20 seconds behind the curtain, so certainly something has happened there between the two. No, but that's because Bellman went into the pits. So that's the reason why now there is a 21-second gap between Barf and the car ahead. So Craig Hill is still trying to battle with Teller for 6th place, as also Modern and Krebs are into the pits. Same goes for Curtin and Bigot. Putting now Ilgner in the lead of the race. Bart also goes into the pits. With 34 minutes to go. Adam Modern is back on track with Krebs just exiting the pits. And I think he will barely be ahead of Hanneman, because I remember these two were just a second and a half gapped by each other. You can see Krebs now off the pits. You saw the distance between the two, which is not a lot. Number 6 remains ahead. Oh, that's a lot of off track for Krebs. But for now, as I said, Anima remains 2 seconds behind. So just to go through the grid, currently Adam Modon has a 20 seconds lead on Daniel Krebs, who is now in 2nd place, just in front of Jill Salomon. Stedder follows in 4th place with a 40 seconds gap on Frank Sidivi. Sodere behind in 6th, with Murasaki in 7th at the moment, with Van Liesert in 8th. And Craig Hill in 9th place with Almeida, who still has to pit, and Timo Brown in the pits, Chris Jones, which is now going into the pits, then Jack Evans with Simon Turner in 14th, William Glover in 15th, and Mariano in 16th. Then we've got Ilgner currently leading by just 1 time since he has to pit. Radevic's just behind with Timo Bigot, which is forecasted to be leading this race shortly. Then Tom Curtin is in 4th with Scotty now in the pits, making now Barf in 5th place. As Mark Stewart is in a McLaren in 23rd, with Van Horn following in 8th place. In class with Moody in 9th, then Bellman into the pits, and DNFing the same goes for Besling, Bellman plus Keith, Brunel and Brown all retiring from the race. As we go back to this battle here, I think there is a bit of a chance between Sodre and City to battle for position number 5. in the last lap the gap between the two has been reduced by quite a lot, obviously, but because it's just because obviously one had to pit compared to the other. And the gap is just 1.1 second between Soder and City. Good evening, Craig. And it's rapidly reducing, but you can also go on board Soder. As you can see, extremely close to the car ahead, Frank Selivi. Which is fuel saving, as you can see. Look at the throttle map. Using the hybrid rather. Which is enabled from, I think, another 80 km per hour for every car except the Peugeot 9X8 Volume 1, which it has it at 150 km per hour, if I remember correctly. The gap is only 8 times. Very wide cornering for the Peugeot there, losing some tenths. Now, as you can see, the Peugeot is very much in danger position compared to the Toyota, who is now attacking extremely close to the 9X8. As these two are now going over the old pit lane, which is used in endurance racing for the Spa 24 hour. Oh! Deciding about a lane. A bit undecided for Sodre, who nearly went full speed into the gravel, into the grass, and then also the wall, but just managing to not to do so. So maybe an overtake will happen very, very shortly. I have to admit I missed the reason why Bigot is now in 3rd place. 6 seconds and a half, now 7 behind the leader in the position of Ilgner in the McLaren, who is now leading. Now extremely close, as you can see here. The BMW is back on battle with another car. This time it's Patek Rezovic in 70. as this could be for second place in class. I think an overtake will happen just now over the main Camel Straight. We were going on the right of the McLaren, which is the left of the screen, and that's the position done for Timo Bigot. Now in second place. And also there is here the overtake between Toyota and the Peugeot. On the outside it goes, and the number 8 is now in 5th place, just in front of City in 6th now. With two overtakes happening practically at the same moment. Also there is a battle for 5th place. Between Scotty and Barth. For 5th place, apologies. So now as you can see, nearly cutting the road for a Peugeot which was passing through. Now number 86 is very close to number 54, just barely in front. Oh, that's a lot of wiggling for Angela Scotti. For now still remains behind Barth. Simon Turner is falling down standing, but that's obviously because he DNF'd for some reasons, leaving only 23 cars still running. Currently there is a battle between Brown and Evans, with Evans in front of Brown, but just barely, as I think now in the camera straight we can see the overtake from BMW of Brown, just in front of Evans, back in 11th after losing the position early on in the main old straight. So that was for 11th place. to go back in 5th and 6th. Just on the rear view for... I don't know why it's lagging so much on the main straight. Just here, there probably is some issue with the textures. It's the only place where it lags massively. Even though I think I know who the culprit is, and it's the fences. Oh, that's the angle off. As you can see, Scotty doing a 360 degrees angle. And ending close to the wall, probably making contact with the wall. We just saw that car spin. Yeah, you can see the front completely damaged on the front right side. So now this car is and will be slightly difficult to drive, as you can hear also. Just some suspension damage is quite likely to have happened, so this will be quite a difficult situation for Angela Scotti. Let's go back here with the battle between Murasaki and Valushut. Apologies, it's still on. Murasaki currently keeping the fight on for 7th place, although quite far compared to earlier. He's now a second away from Valushut. So it stands, these two are the closest fight we have on track at the moment. That's for 7th place. The last sector it was a 3 times difference between two, with the Ferrari losing massive time now also on the gravel. Putting up now to less than a second. Now only 1 second is between Van Lieshout and Murasaki with, I think, roughly 7 laps to go. Something like, oh, that's a huge lockup for Johnny Murasaki. Huge speed into this section, 300 km per hour over the Kemmel Strait. But for now, nothing really is ongoing here between the two. With the situation putting Saki now back to a second and a half, nearly 2 seconds off Van Lieshout. Now the leader remains easily in position number 1 with a 26 seconds gap to Krebs and 6 laps to go. So he stands Adam Modan in the lead of the race, with Krebs following in second, with Jules Salaman in third, with Chris Tedder following in fourth place, and then JP Soder in fifth, with Frank Silvi in sixth, with, as we said, Van Lieshout and Murasaki one after the other. Almeida in 9th and Timo Brown in 10th, with Craig Hill having some issues there. Oh, it's something that's hugely ruined his car, as you can see here. Coming to a halt altogether, maybe. Oh, he lost a tire. That's more than an issue, that's definitely something wrong with it. So without a tire, now trying to crawl back to the pits. It's going to be a lengthy period of time for Hill. Who is obviously having some struggles going back to the pits, as he was in 12th place. Rolling back into the pits, that will also be a huge damage that will have to be repaired. Mariano just now passed the hill, but that's not for position, that's for at least getting back a lap. And we've got Irgner in a Corvette number 82 leading the pack in GTD Pro, apologies, in LMGT3, with Timo Bigot just behind in second place, and with Berta Gradovic in third, completing the podium. Then we've got Tom Curtin in fourth, with Jan Barth in fifth, with Angela Scotti in sixth, with Mark Stewart in seventh, and Moody being the last car on track at the moment, with Turner, Van Horn, Besselink, Bellman, plus Kiss, Brunel, and Brown having DNF'd currently, as he barely made it back into the pits. So the first race into Le Mans Ultimate was quite an eventful one. And obviously the most characteristic track of them all. Because I want to apologize if and when there were some issues with the broadcaster. Just like this constant lag, which I think is because the game is running on my HDD, not the SSD. I honestly thought, well, I honestly tested it with fewer cars, if this could be possible. And the answer was yes, but in a real scenario with way more cars, it's a bit more difficult for it. So I will probably move the game entirely on SSD the next time, so we can have the usual 60 FPS. It also doesn't help that the graphics section in the setting is quite tremendous, I'll be honest. I had a good, difficult time finding what was what in a proper manner. So obviously I apologize for it, but this is the first stream on a new product, so it's also a bit of a test to see if everything was working, and the answer is yes, it is. Definitely is, apart from a couple of issues that can be resolved. Yeah, in fact, that's my opinion, because it's lagging way too much in certain points, and casually those points are the ones with more stress. So I really think it's the HDD being the issue here. Oh, that's a huge lockup for that number 8. I think it was Murasaki. Yes, it was Murasaki locking up massively on the braking point. But altogether, it was a fine stream. I'm quite happy that I figured out how the tower and the whole broadcast layout works, because that was my main concern on the matter. Oh, this was a huge hit by, I think it was the number 83 of Mario Mariano. Yes, it was. Massively crashing into the wall on Stavro. This time the car maintains the tire. But I think that's massive damage for, yeah, it's going extremely slow now. And having some struggles maintaining the line. So possibly some suspension damage for the number 83. It's going to be a pit stop for Mariano, quite likely. Although with 5 minutes to go, that's a huge lockup. And he decides to remain on track, although with a hugely damaged car. Hoping that this will not impact other drivers. Yeah, for the energy remain doesn't work. Oh, just put this here. Up next. Oh, that's, yeah. I don't think not pitting was a good idea, because now it could be a danger to the drivers. Which is the last thing that really has to happen with 5 minutes to go. Because as long as he stays away from anyone, it will not be an issue. Although behind, I think that was the McLaren of... I have not really idea which one it was. I think it was Mark Stewart in 22nd place. in the other 70. Stewart is also now battling with Moody. That's for last place on track. The two are just 7 tenths away from each other. As I think Adam Modern is close to start the last lap of the race, when the white flag will appear. All of this Mariano is still on track, and at the very least not being in a difficult position, at least for the time being. Hill is back on the racetrack, but as you can see, with a complete different front end after the damage he had. Adam Modern will start the last lap in few seconds. We will go with an onboard lap with the current leader. For 2 minutes we will see what the leader does. So over the main straight as the white flag waves into turn 1, which is La Source. Over the curb, using all the curb on the outside, not too much otherwise there is a gravel that holds you back. On the old main straight, on the Rouge and Radillon, on the left, full speed, 300 km/h on the Canal straight, and then it's right, left and right again, it's Lecombe, slightly on the AstroTurf, and another right-hander, and then into Bruxelles we go, the hairpin, which leads to no name, or for bureaucracy, we'll call it with its effective name, Jack X. Downhill for a brief moment, and then left-hander into Pujon, double downshift, then full speed into Campus, and then Stavro. The right-hander here, and left, slightly on the gravel. Then we go through the oldest part of the circuit, this one here. Or rather, back to the oldest part of the circuit. Into Blanchimont, full speed, and then over the bus stop chicane, which is a right and left-hander. So Adam Modern wins the first race of the year on Le Mans Ultimate in hypercar class, with Daniel Krebs following. and putting the car number 6 in second place. Then Gilles Saleman appears in Toyota number 7 and takes the flag for the podium in hypercar class. Then Illigner won in LMGT3 with Timo Bigot in second place and Bartek Redeviks in third. Tom Curtin goes on to complete the race in fourth place. And Chris Tedder will do the same in hypercar class. With JP Soder in fifth place. Over Blanchimont now. And that's fifth place for the hypercar driver. With Frank Selevi in sixth place. Just going on the bus stop chicane. With Van Lieshout following just behind, and Murasaki in 8th with Almeida in 9th, Timo Brown in 10th with William Glover in 11th, with Jack Evans in 12th, with Chris Jones in 13th, with Mario Mariano in 14th and Craig Hill in 15th. And as I said, Illigner, Bigot and Radeviks are in the podium in LGT3, with Tom Curtin in 4th, Jan Barth in 5th, with Angela Scotti in 6th, and then Moody in 7th, and Mark Stewart in last place, in 8th place in LMGT3. So this was the race, the first race in Le Mans Ultimate. Hope you all had a good time in this 80-minute race, and I will see you all in the next Thursday for the usual ACC round, and then again next Friday for the next round in Le Mans Ultimate. Until then, have a good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world,